welcome to a video which has a very clickbaity title, How Bots Can Steal Your Crypto. Um, so what I'm gonna do in this video is talk about bots and what they do on actual blockchain, and how's that fun? So this topic is kind of, well, hard to digest a little bit, I would say. I know when I was learning about it, which wasn't that long ago, uh, it was kind of tough. But I figured, the more sources of the same information you have, the easier it is to get. So, you know, this might pique your interest, which is the goal of this video. So let's go in. So traditional financial systems, like stock market, there are a bunch of opportunities there that different traders take advantage of. Uh, so the whole banking or like trading industry is built on top of these opportunities. Like you have this Wolf of Wall Street and people in suits in Wall Street doing some sort of deals that makes money, although they don't provide any value or product, right? Or I shouldn't say that they don't provide any value, but they don't provide any specific service, uh, except of moving money around, doing some trades. And why they are able to do this is that they understand the system well, and then they understand the terms of these deals that happens there, and then they understand the contracts, and then they might have some sort of insight into future a little bit, into what's gonna happen. But it's very, nobody knows future, so it's basically gut feelings what they use. I assume. I don't know. I'm not one of them. Um, but then when we go to blockchain, so blockchain is also a financial system. And it turns out that similar opportunities exist here as well. Uh, so now you can be thinking, well, maybe I can be the bot steals the crypto, which is very much true, right? This is a video that might help you guide you through that path, or like point you to the existence of this path, I would say. So the blockchain is sometimes think of as a programmable money. What does that mean is that the deals and these terms or these contracts are actually smart contracts. So they are written in code, which not only people, like I guess coders mostly, can read, but more importantly, computers can read, and scripts can read, and bots can read. Which is a stark difference compared to like traditional, paper contracts, where you have this man in suit doing the transaction. Here you have bots doing the trading, doing the thing we're gonna talk about. And because it's software, it's actually much easier for the script to read uh, than the traditional market. So the bots and the coders actually behind the bots, they already have an edge here. So yeah, but that's not all. There's also a public transaction pool. So you might be very aware. Let me demonstrate how that works actually. So this is our trusty MetaMask wallet with its own Rinkabitas network here. I'm gonna like say send some money from one of the wallet to another. Now you might have not noticed, but there's an edit button here where you can change the gas fees that you're willing to pay here. So I'm gonna do something very low here. It's just warning me everywhere that it's not gonna work well for me, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So what happened now is on Etherscan we can see the transaction, we can see that it's pending. So what happened when I click save there is that my transaction was sent to Infura server, like some node in the blockchain that I'm talking to, and then this node like just broadcasted to all the other nodes, and those nodes broadcasted it to other nodes until everybody knows that I'm trying to do this transaction. And the reason why they're doing this, or why the protocol is written this way, is that you're trying to get as many miners as possible, because you want to hit the miner that's going to add the next block. right? And these miners are one of these nodes that we're sending transaction to. But then the miners, they kind of have incentive in a way that they're looking at the gas fee people are paying. So it's not necessarily the ordered transaction came in, but the transactions that are actually in the pool. This is the pool, actually, by the way. So this is the transaction pool. This is the pool the miner sees. It sees all these transactions in the pending states, and the miner needs to pick some of them and include them in the block. And the way the miner will normally do it is it will look at the highest gas fee that we offer to pay to the miner. So, you know, the more profit the miner gets. And because we chose very low gas fee here, you can see that this is hanging here forever. And no miner is processing this. So this is the public part. And one more thing I want to demonstrate, I can click this speed up button, which is a little bit, well, it's not confusing for normal folks, but like for us as developers, this doesn't actually change the existing transaction. And when I click save here, like it in the UI here, it looks like it changed the original transaction, but it actually created a different transaction with the same nonce. And this transaction is different, right? So this is a different hash. And because I chose like a really high gas fee there, it's already processing, you can see here. And what did I want to say? Yeah, and because I chose the same nonce, that's what happened like when you do the update in the MetaMask, it will send the new transaction with the same nonce. And nonce is the like the order of the transaction per account, which is used in the transaction body. So there can't be two transactions with the same nonce from the same address. So if this gets included, this gets like discarded. The first transaction gets discarded. But it's not that important. Oh, it's still not. It's still not there. Well, this kind of broke my plan, but let's imagine this second transaction would go actually in. I guess the miners on Rinkaby are kind of slow today. But never mind. So I'm sure this goes through in a minute. But that's what I wanted to mention, that not the order of the transaction that they were sent in matters, but the gas fee you pay matters for the order that you will end up in the blockchain. I hope this wasn't too confusing. I think it was. Well, this is the gas price, what I meant by that. That the gas price is really important tool that bots use, because what we're gonna see, the bots, what they do is they're gonna watch this public pool and they're gonna see this transaction. Right now, they will see that this address is trying to send to this address that much money, which is not that important. But this could be some sort of DeFi. We're gonna see some strategies in the second, but this could be some sort of decentralized finance DeFi operation or like exchange of some sorts, or whatever. There are a bunch of examples that what this could be. Bot can see this, and based on that logic, it can deduce that it can do something with this information, and it can profit from being before this or just after this transaction, which is what the bot will try to do. Cool. So now when we have that done, so let's call this theory, and now the practice are the strategies. So these are a few of the strategies that kind of repeat, which are profitable to do. I'm gonna try to explain why and how they work on very high level. So first one is sandwiching, which sounds kind of fun. So let's imagine you wanna buy ETH on some exchange. Like let's say you wanna buy 1 ETH. No, let's say you wanna buy like 100 ETH at the price of 3,000 USD. See, whatever. Well, what happens on any exchange if you any asset, if you have some sort of exchange and you buy a significant portion of that pool of the liquidity in that asset, the price will go up. So for the people buying after me, the price will no longer be 3,000, but it might be like 3,020 or something. Again, this depends a lot on, you know, the volume in that pool that you're buying from, and other variables. So let's mark it like this, maybe. Well, so then bot is watching the public pool, right? The bot will see this, that somebody is trying to buy quite a significant amount of ether from somewhere. So what bot can do, it will create this transaction. I will say I'm gonna buy like 10 ETH here at price 3,000 because it's gonna pay more gas to be in front of this transaction. So it's gonna go for 3,000. Like this, by the way, will also increase the price, but because it's just well, 10 times lower, let's just say this will increase to 3,002 USDC. Let's just do that. So that means that your transaction, when it's actually gonna hit, it's not gonna buy from 3,000 because this bot already increased the price. You're gonna buy for 3,002, and that means you're not gonna get 100, but you might get like 99.9. And then the price is gonna increase to, let's say, 3,022 or something. And then bot's gonna add one more transaction where it's gonna sell those 10 ETH that it just bought. But the price now is 3,022, right? USDC. So that means that, what does that mean is that the bot kind of made what? Right, it made 22 times 10, so like 2,000 USDC in this scenario. It made 220 USDC, which probably wouldn't even cover the gas fees, right? But what if the scenario would be like, you know, 10 times that or 100 times that? The gas fee doesn't change, it's just your profit will increase. The bot can use some sort of flash loans to get the money, to get the USDC in the first place, to like be able to afford that. Yeah, so that's how the sandwiching works. It's sandwich because you do one transaction before and one transaction after to like complete this strategy. Hope this made sense. Made kind of confused. I did kind of confuse myself as well. So arbitrage is something that is very it's in normal world as well. It happens everywhere. It's kind of important tool. It's used in trading. So let's imagine we have some exchange like Coinbase, which sells 1 ether at price of 3,000 USD. And then we have another trading place like Uniswap or something, which trades 1 ether for maybe 3,100 for some reason. Like these exchanges are obviously disconnected, so the price can become a different price. And bots can monitor these prices, these pairs, and what bot can do is obviously here it can like buy whatever 100 ETH from C at price of 3,000, and then it's gonna buy, and it's gonna sell those 100 ETH on Uniswap at 3,100, right? And obviously the bot made like what? Here it was minus 3 2 zeros, so like 30,000, and here it's what? So the profit in the end would be 1,0,0,0,0, so $10,000, right? You would make. I must have made a mistake. It's probably this. But that's not all. So you already made a profit here, and this would be one of the strategies that I would say I morally feel that this is a good thing, because this leads to like equal markets, equal opportunities. It's okay that the bot made some profit because they actually provided a service. They equalize the markets in a way. One thing that you also get to do here, which you wouldn't on the traditional market, is wrap those two operations in one single transaction. And then at the end, you can check if you actually made the profit or made good enough profit. And if not, then you can just revert, right? And this is the beautiful thing. In traditional market, you would do this, and then you would have to go somewhere else and do this. But if the price changed already, or somebody did the exchange before, you would like lose money. Cool. So that was arbitrage. Now, liquidation is one last of the strategies I wanted to point out. I'm not gonna do example here anymore, but as you might be aware, like a lot of trading on DeFi is kind of lending, borrowing system. So when you have this kind of one asset farms, it's called sometimes, when you just put like Ethereum in there or put Avalanche in it or whatever, what happens is that that farm is used to like borrow to some other people, and they will provide collateral, like some other token, as a value against their borrowing. And normally, the thing that they put in as a collateral, that means that they still own it if they keep the terms of the loan. Is higher than what they borrowing. So you can think of it as a mortgage in real life, right? You put in your house, you get some money. If you don't keep the terms of your mortgage, then the bank gonna seize the house. But in blockchain, there's no like bank, right? There's no like central thing that's gonna. These protocols can't like watch their own state of the debts. So what they do, they incentivize people or bots, most likely bots, to actually find these debts that are bad debts, or like where the people didn't keep the terms of the loan, and they call a method, send a transaction to that loan, which will liquidate so-called liquidate the loan. So they will like seize the money, move them to treasury of that protocol or something, and the bot sending this transaction will get a little bit of reward. So that's another strategy that the bot can do. And there are many others scenarios. Like one example is Yield-Yak on Avalanche. What it does, it kind of makes compounding of interests like really cool. So it kind of there's this process of taking out the interest you've already compounded and reinvested it, and there's a button you can click, and that button is gonna do this, and the person that clicked the button gonna get a reward. And it doesn't matter if you already have money in that in that farm or not. But before you go to Yield-Yak and start clicking those buttons, there's one more thing I wanted to mention, which is general front running. So this is very interesting case. This one I would definitely morally put on the blacklist. Like this one's not that good from moral stance, because what that thing does is it's looking on this public pool, and whenever it finds a transaction, it tries to figure out if the bot would replace the sender with themselves, like the bot. So change the sender address from the actual sender to the bot. If that would result in some profit for the bot or not. So the bot in this case doesn't care about what sort of transaction it is. It doesn't care or doesn't know what sort of protocol it's talking to, what the goal is. It kind of just tries to replay the transaction with its address, and at the end it will figure out, well, this doesn't do anything for me. Like I was trying to do something, but I don't, have the NFT or something. But in some cases it will figure out, like in this clicking button in Yield-Yak, yeah, it doesn't matter actually who clicks it first. Like if the bot clicks it first, it's gonna get the reward, not the person clicking it. So in this case, what the bot's gonna do, it's just gonna send more gas, send its transaction, and then cut the line in front of the original transaction and do the thing. All right. So these are all the scenarios that I wanted to mention. Yeah, there are much more, of course, but I put other, so I covered them all. There are a few more nodes I wanted to mention after the scenarios. So one of them is gas price war. So what does that mean? Well, in all these scenarios when we were talking about, there was like one person doing something sometimes, and then there was a bot beating it. But in real life, on real blockchain, you have person, and then you have like hundreds of bots doing this kind of war and trying to beat that person. But the first bot beats the person, that's easy. But then the second bot sees it, and it will like beat the first bot. But because this is happening, milliseconds, the bots have plenty of time to keep fighting, and they will keep raising the price, raising the gas, which has, of course, impact on that single transaction, but it also has impact on the whole congestion of the blockchain. Like the whole, if a lot of bots are pushing their transaction, the miners will ignore the rest of the system, meaning the rest of the system needs to pay higher gas fees. So that's part of the reason, I think, why the gas prices are going up sometimes. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Well, one project I want to give a shout out, I guess, in this video is Flashbots. So this was really good tool that I found when I was like researching this. I'm just gonna show it here. So they have a very good, documentation. You can read about what they do. But the idea here is that they have a way. It's a tool for both the bots and people that want to get protected against the bots. What they do, I think they only operate on Ethereum mainnet. But what they do is that they have a direct connection to big miners. So when you send transaction to them instead of the public pool, it's not gonna touch the public pool. It's gonna be sent to the miners directly. Yeah, and that way, you avoid this gas price war if you're a bot operator, or and some other tools. Like, yeah, go read it if you're interested. And then one more term that I wanted to mention, which is maximum extractable value, MEV, which is a general term for all these kind of operations that we're talking about. It used to be called miner extractable value because it was thought of as the miner reordering the transaction so that the miner gets the most amount. But there's a lot of value that can be gained just by being the bot. So now it's now the more general term is maximum because it can be extracted by anybody. Cool. Well, this was very heavy topic. If you made it as far, this is amazing because I lost myself a few times. There's a Discord. You can just go there. I'm there, so you can ask or just tell me what I messed up here. That would be lovely, actually. So please do that. Yeah, that's the important note, I think. Cool. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye.